All right, now before we pile headlong into this awesome adventure of creating and developing our own WordPress theme using Photoshop, of course, what I want to do is I want to set some Photoshop preferences. I want to set up Photoshop so that our workflow is going to run that much more smoothly. So as you can see here, I've already fired up Photoshop. I'm raring to go. I'm excited to get rocking here. But go ahead and fire up Photoshop on your side. And as I say, I want to set some preferences here before we get going too far along. So if you're on the Windows side, head to your Edit menu. If you so happen to be on the Mac side, as I am, head to your Photoshop menu found in the top left corner, and then head down to Preferences, and then over to General, or go ahead and whack the keyboard shortcut there, the good old Control or Command K on your keyboard, and that will bring you into your General Preferences. All right, now, as I have been alluding to, there's a bunch of settings in here. There's a bunch of options that I want to go over here with you, so we're going to get things set up. Now, first of all, right at the very top of the General Preferences, we have the Color Picker, and I want to make sure that I'm set to the Adobe Color Picker. This is a personal preference. You're more than welcome to use your system color picker if you so choose. But just so you know where I am on the Adobe Color Picker. So when we start working with colors, I'm going to be working with the Adobe Color Picker. The other setting that I wanted to mention is image interpolation. Now, that's the third guy down inside the general category. I could go on for about 25 or 30 minutes on image interpolation and the difference between these different settings that we can use here. But the setting that I'm on for now is bicubic, best for smooth gradients. Now this ties into when we start using Photoshop's free transform command, which I'm sure we're going to use when we start resizing images, photography, things like that, which we very well may do. And it might be a situation that we run into where we have to come in here and change our image interpolation method, by the way, which is sometimes referred to as the resampling method. So make sure you're on the same interpolation method that I'm using here, bicubic, best for smooth gradients. Wonderful. Okay, what else do we have here? Well, we have a bunch of options here running down the general category. Let's see here. Export clipboard. Use Shift key for tool switch. Make sure that guy's turned on so we can use the Shift key to toggle through some of the different tools that we have inside the Photoshop toolbox. So make sure that that guy's turned on. Resize image during place. That's just fine. Animated zoom. Now this is again a personal preference. I'm turning that guy off. I don't like the animated zoom. It's a personal thing. Zoom resizes windows. I'm turning that guy off too. Again, a personal preference. Drives me crazy. Okay, that should just about do it for our general category. So hopefully all good. I'm going to flip down to my interface category, my interface preferences. Now, let's see here. Show menu colors, that's fine. Show tooltips, definitely, because I find myself getting lost all the time. Open documents as tabs drives me up the bend. So I'm going to turn that guy off. I don't like that guy. I'm going to turn him off. Okay, now let's see. File handling, everything in there should be just fine. You can take a quick look there if I can get my file handling screen to come up. This should be just fine. I don't think there should be anything that we want to change here. Same with performance. I should be just fine there. I'm not setting any extra scratch disks or messing around with memory usage. I'm going to go all the way down. I'm going to skip down to units and rulers. Go ahead and move yourself down to units and rulers. And we want to make sure that our rulers are using the pixel unit of measurement. In web design, everything is measured in pixels. I kind of hesitated there because I was thinking of, when we measure fonts using CSS and things like that. So this isn't 100% true, but especially in terms of layout anyway, we're going to use the pixel unit of measurement to make sure everything's laid out nicely. We'll get into fonts and junk like that later. Okay, so hopefully that's all good. The type unit of measurement, I'm sticking with points. I hope that works for you. What else do we have? Well, the last thing that I want to set is my guides, grid, and slices. Go ahead and choose that category. We just may wind up using our grid. I'm going to use all the default colors. That's just fine for my smart guides and my guides and the grid. That's fine. The slices there as well. I'm leaving all the default colors. You can go and change the colors if you are so inclined. But what I'm going to do is this setting here, grid line every. I'm going to change that unit of measurement, of course, to pixels. And I'm going to set a grid line every 100 pixels, just like that. And then my subdivisions, the next option down, I'm going to change that to 10 pixels. You're welcome to use different values, but this is going to tie in to my overall grid system that I want to use with you once we get to actually building our Photoshop layout. So I think we're looking good here. So once you're happy, once things are looking good here, go ahead and click on OK. And that just about does it for setting Photoshop's preferences.